Sent to a third party. Oh my. Oh my gosh. It's live, right? But oh my goodness. It's so strange. I'm not sure what to do, guys. Oh, the look on my face. Oh goodness. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Oh goodness sakes. Boy, I'm having a terrible time. Oh, oh Lord. It's now playing, it says. Okay, we're gonna shut it down because I can't figure this out. Oh, I guess you're here, huh? Yeah. Well, something to laugh about, right? I can't see you. So I gotta walk by faith and not by sight. Oh my gosh. Okay. It just goes from bad to worse. I'm telling you what. I used to be able to do this. Okay. I know you're there. I just don't know where you are because I have 2 pages and I want to make sure you can see me. All right, so I'm gonna go. Just wait. Wait for me. Oh, so I guess you're not on my personal page. You must be on the Trek page. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, there you are. Hi, Lonnie. Okay. Okay. All right. No. We can see you. Okay, Beth. But can you hear me okay? Text me, please, quickly. Because somebody said they like to hear me laugh. Well, here you go. Here's your dose. Text me somebody. Can you hear me? Because I can't see you and I don't like this. I'll drink to that. That, oh, That was awesome. Yeah. And you know what that is a sign of? Tressie, move over. So I just want to say I have the best staff you could ever imagine. They are an army of volunteers. And their only challenge with me is forgetting to delegate. Because I used to wear all the hats, and that's why I burned out, right? And so then I've never had help before. No, so I forget. And I have made a mess of quite a few things, and then they forgive me. Isn't that wonderful? I love these people. They're amazing. And then, like when I'm throwing out stuff that I didn't tell them about, you should see them in Signal going, oh yeah, you it's like this amazing beehive, and it's so cool. Wow, we have the most fine-tuned, smooth-running love machine going on of this army of volunteers who've never met. And it might be because we have an angel that has a whistle. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, man, I am the most blissed out woman on the planet. I feel. I mean, there may be other people, but for personally, I'm sorry, but that video just set me off. So now I'm goofy. I got 2 direct messages this week. I got a direct message from the White Hats, who were directed by God, or maybe it was from God. I'm not sure, but this is what it was. Through my messenger, God is about to end this chapter. So you can go, God is about to end this chapter. Attention, GBS, God's broadcasting system. God is about to end this chapter. Get off the page. We're turning the page, folks. All right. Now. All right. So we have a little family business to take care of because I need your help. All right. So remember when I did that boo-boo last, what was it, January, and I got in trouble and it was a big mess, and I was off social media for a week trying to figure out how to mop up the mess I made. And it was all because of slander, right? And it was the worst kind possible. And so I blew. And so then I came back in humility. Yeah. And they were proud of me for that. Okay. And so once again, we have slander going on. And so I'm just going to kind of like summarize and revisit that protocol that I have used my entire life to stay full of love, no matter what happens. How do you screen it for accuracy, or what does it fit, or how do I handle this and all of that? So I got a message from God last week. He said, as in the days of Moses, when there were delays after delays after delays, the people were so miserable, they finally turned on Moses and wanted to stone him. And I'm like, oh, it's not that bad. No, it's not that bad. I am kind of functioning like that and trying to help lead people through the wilderness of this horrific nightmare that we can't wake up from. And I like what Phil said the other night. He said, I have told you things that didn't end up being accurate because they were accurate at the time when they told me. And then this journey had so many twists and turns that then it wasn't accurate after that. And that is the way it's been. They never meant to tell us, a lie. It's just that they didn't know it was going to have a twist and a turn either. And it has had many. All right. So anyway, that's just a disclaimer, right?
So why would you want to shoot the messenger if they did their best and they relayed the information that they received? All right. Okay. So when I receive slander and then I process it, I always, whatever I go through in my life, I always feel like I need to make use of my suffering, and then I'll always turn it into a teaching, for other people, because if you have miserable people around you, people are just so angry, um there's good reason to be. The pain is so great. It's so great. I get it, right? And so um I think maybe you need to hear what I'm going to say as well, but in the end I'm going to ask you to follow my protocol for me. All right, because you're probably going to hear these lies about me, and then I know that you love me, but instead of reacting, I would like you to diffuse it by not engaging. Okay, all right. But if I didn't alert you, uh-oh, my screen just went off. Oh boy, internet issues already. All right, so if I didn't alert you, then there would be confusion and you would be wondering what's going on. So I showed my staff all of the lies, and they were like, oh my gosh, because the enemy always overplays his hand, right? So he will speak these lies to people, and if they're upset, and angry about life, then they can pick that up. Okay, so they were like, absolutely not. It's 100% opposite of the truth. All right, you can see me. All right, my response is always to use filters. All right, so when words have the power of life and death. So it's either a word of death, which is a word curse, or words of life. So James 3:17, the wisdom from above is first of all pure, it's peace loving, it's gentle, and willing to yield to others. It's full of mercy and the fruit of good deeds, and it's always impartial and sincere. All right. So that wisdom that someone else has, that they think they need to tell you what God wants you to do, as if you can't hear from God for yourself. That wisdom would be willing to yield if the person if they feel like it doesn't fit, right? You don't walk away thinking, well, I know I heard from God, and you are in error, when it's your life and you have a Holy Spirit. Your spirit knows all truth and can recognize truth. You just know, and you're knower, right? All right. Now, I'm just going to tell you what's being promoted out there. And there are all kinds of little lies attached to it in order to try to convince you that this is true. All right, here it is. Tressie is the mother of all evil. Okay, so that would make me like the kingpin, the queen pin of the cabal. That would make me worse than Hillary Clinton, who eats children, who kills children, right? So does it fit? No. So I don't wear it, right? I don't even take it personally, because if it doesn't fit, why would you take it personal? Even though it's outrageous, right? It's almost laughable. Okay, so you make a righteous judgment. You look at the person that is being talked about and you say, you know them by their fruits. A bad tree does not produce good fruit, and a good tree, Teresa, does not produce bad fruit. So remember, the Pharisees accused Jesus of casting out demons in the name of Beelzebub. And in Matthew 12:26, he says, wait, but if Satan is casting out Satan, he's divided against himself. So how can his kingdom stand, right? Yeah. You can't get good water and bad water out of the same fountain. All right. Okay. That's it. So then what do I do after that? I don't wear it. I don't let it penetrate me. I don't let it hurt me, or I don't accept it, right? Because I have armor and I guard my heart. We have to guard our hearts. And this is, you're probably not going to get anything this outrageous, but you're going to get other things, and you already have. You've gotten a lot of it this year, haven't you? Yeah. It didn't fit you, did it? No. But because the enemy always picks the people you love, that's why it hurts, because you love them, right? So the words that are said about you, you put it through a screen. The screen that I just gave you of James 3:17, and the screen of love, because love is all there is. That's the spiritual law of the new world, of the real world, of the kingdom of God, is the law of love. You fulfill that, you got everything, right? So what does love look like? If this pack of lies doesn't fit into this, it can't be true. It can't be right. Love is patient and love is kind. Love is not jealous, boastful, or proud. Love does not dishonor others. It's not rude or self-seeking, not easily angered, and it keeps no record of wrongs. This is my life here. I have so practiced at this stuff because I've had to be in order to stay pure, right? So I don't keep a record of wrongs, and I can welcome in someone who hurt me deeply, easy, really easy. And you can ask my staff, because they've watched me and they've kind of been a little nervous about it. You're too trusting. It does not rejoice against injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up. It believes the best about people. So when you hear a rumor, do you just go, oh, or do you go, I'm going to believe the best until I find out from them, right? It never loses faith. It is always hopeful, and it endures through everything you go through. It always protects another person. And that is what I have chosen to do my whole life, is when this kind of thing happens, I protect the person who said it. I do everything I can to make sure I don't expose them. I don't uncover them. Love covers a multitude of sins and wrongs against you. And so I don't blare it out. I try to deal with it quietly and protect them with whatever way I can figure out the best way to do it. All right. So you got to guard your heart. You don't take it personally. If it doesn't fit, you don't wear it and you walk away. But then you have to process and ask, why? Why would they choose to spread something that is 100% opposite of the truth? I'll tell you why. Because when you're angry, when you're upset in life, and you have unprocessed pain from childhood, you could not process it with the person who hurt you in childhood because you were vulnerable. You were a child and they were too strong for you. So if it isn't dealt with, you carry it with you and it's a pile. All right. And then when you feel hurt or upset in life, all of that comes with it from baggage from the past. It comes out and you have to deal with it. You have to process it. And if you don't know how, you transfer that anger onto another person. And you always choose the person with the softest heart. Why? Because they won't fight back. You know they won't hurt you when you dump your anger on them. As a result, I've been a scapegoat for my entire family and for many people all over the world my entire life until this year. And I know you have too, because we're a lot alike, aren't we? You have a soft heart too. I found that out in locals when we did the destiny readings. Big, big, huge hearts of generosity that have been taken advantage of and wounded over and over and over. So you're relating to me right now. That's why I bring things out like this. Scapegoat days are over. It's like the Olympic Games. I proclaim these games to be over, and I proclaim these scapegoat days for you and for me to be over. So what does that mean? Kneel, new creature, you just say no. You love, you forgive, you don't keep a record of wrongs, you bless, but you don't take it. You can shake the dust off your feet. You can do a proclamation between you and God and then walk away and act like it never happened. If you have pain, you just have to keep doing that cycle and processing it with God. The greater the wound, the more you have to kind of do some homework with it, right? You can't take it. Don't receive it. You say, I love you, but that doesn't fit me and I don't receive it. Cut it off, right? All right. So then you forgive and you leave the light on. This is the way I am. You want to apologize, you want to repent before God, and you want forgiveness, you got it. Always. All right? But it doesn't mean trust. You don't have to trust the untrustworthy. Okay? That's what I've chosen to do with my former family is I love them, I forgive them, but I do it from a distance, a safe distance, because I found out finally that I count two. And I don't have to be any longer the scapegoat. But what is painful to me is the people that I love who turn on me and betray me. I know that they are breaking spiritual laws and that they will suffer the effects of the spiritual law. Some people call it karma. Some people call it the law of sowing and reaping. Right? So what you do to others will come back to you, and especially if the person has the screen and the armor and it bounces off, it becomes a boomerang and it will come back. It will. The law of judging. In the way you judge, you will be judged. And you don't want that. And I don't want that for you. I don't want you to suffer. There's a verse that says Numbers 32:23. Doesn't that sound like a decode? 32:23. It's like a mirror. Be sure your sins will find you out. And let me tell you something. This right here that I'm going to tell you is a warning. It's for all of us. I got in trouble from the White Hats because I wasn't being careful with what they gave me, and they did not want it on Telegram anywhere. They wanted me to keep it in Signal because of the nature of it. And I didn't get their message. They had to tell me 5 times. When I finally got it, I sobbed my heart out. I was so embarrassed. I was so sorry. And they said, we know we can trust you. So I never did that again. Never did it again. So Luke 12:3 is in fulfillment right now. What you have said in the dark will be heard in the daylight. And what you have whispered in the ear in the inner rooms will be proclaimed from the rooftops. Why? Space Force. They read every page. Every page. And it doesn't matter if you change your profile name. They know who you are. They know what you're doing. And you know, I don't know, something scary. They saw all of this happen, and it showed up in my gematria with the person's name who started the lie. Scary. You will not get away with it. And God, you know, this is Isaiah 61 right now, the day of vengeance of our God, which means he is going to avenge those who are wronged. You don't want to fall into the hands of the living God. Touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. That's a command. That's a directive. Honor. Give honor to whom honor is due. Right? We need to honor each other. So when you see these things, and you probably will because they seem to just be spreading, and even some people that didn't hear the lies, they're just coming up with their own. Total strangers, people I don't know. And, you know, they're all starting to doubt now because she's been wrong before. Yeah. All right. So what do? If you don't want to suffer these effects and you've been disgruntled, did you realize we are in a parallel time like in the days of Moses? And those people did not get to go into the promised land. They got judged by God. That was a test for them. Wilderness was a test. And then we're supposed to learn from their example. I lived by this verse, let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying. That which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace to the hearers. I lived by that. And if I messed up, I would ask God to forgive me, and I'd ask him to purify my heart, because I don't want that. And I don't want that coming back to me, right? So as we are coming into the finish line, bruised, beaten, bleeding, suffering, we have to guard the unity with everything we've got in us. Maintain love, hang on to it with everything we have, because that's all we have. That's it. All right. Okay. We repay evil for good. We give good in the place of what was given to us. All right. Okay. That's it. So do not engage and exchange what is being done. Don't answer in the same manner. Do it in the opposite manner. Like when I was on a certain chat the other day and I said, Tracy in the house, because I knew thousands of you were in there, right? And this woman goes, do we care? No. And I went, oh, well, thousands of your members do, because they're in the Trek tribe and we're sending you love. All right. It's kind of fun to throw love around. You know what I mean? All right. Okay. So on to the Gematria. All right. So we're going to, I'm going to talk about the spiritual part of it. And then I'm going to have Jeannie Marshall come in and talk about the practical aspects of it. Okay. So for me, I have, I'm a little different. I am because I am given phrases by messengers. I have at least 3 or 4 messengers that were like handpicked, who are very 5th dimension. Their circuits are hot, and whoever is available is who they give the phrase to, that they want me to look up. and find out what the message is they're trying to deliver to me. Okay. For you, it's going to be a message from God. Okay. So, because it's his book, I mean, it's his deal, right? And so, and he's trying to work with you because he wants you to come home to him to find out who you really are. And so he's going to give you, like they told me, they give me crumbs. Well, I think God's is nuggets of truth. And so it's usually 3 or 4 words long, and you can hear it. A phrase comes to you, and you'll get used to thinking, hey, I think I should decode that. And you'll find truth in there about you, right? And then once again, your spirit determines what is truth for you, which ones you should grab and put into a document. There are people who try to influence the gematria by using the numbers that correspond to each letter to come up with something so that they can make it say what they want it to say. We don't do that. All we want to do is find out what is already there that our spirit leaps at. That is the pure message, right? And so nobody's going to mess up the gematria because it's spiritually discerned. That's, you can't mess it up if it's spiritually discerned, right? Okay, so we're going to look at Trek 98. So Jeannie, why don't you come on in, and I'll get your input as we look at this. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but as you know, well, I'm wrong because I told you that you were not getting messages from the White House, but you have been in the flight call signs. You've been getting them quite some time. I think we've had about 20 Trek tribe military plane call signs. And it used to be because I asked for it. The very one I asked for showed up the next morning over and over and over. And now they're just doing it because they want to get a message to us. And they're also using tweet 22, tweet 88, whatever. And now we're looking at everything. All right. I mean, things like that we're directed to look at. So there's 2 ways to do it. Trek 98, you can do 98, you write it out, or you can do 98. And I like to do both because they're both pertinent and you'll get some nuggets in each one. So I'm going to share my screen so you can see it as we talk about it. I've never done this before, so hopefully this won't turn into a blooper. All right. Okay. Oh, there it is. All right. Awesome. Okay. Lovely. Okay. Can you see that? Somebody feedback to me? Yeah, I can see it on the screen. Can you see it?
Somebody? I'm not able to see it, but I don't need to. I mean, you carry on.
All right, just a minute. Yes, we can see. No, that's not what I'm asking. No. Staff, you got to tell me. Oh, look at there. Thank you. Okay, here we go. So the first thing is bridge currency, 918. Jeannie, I don't know how you feel about it, but I've noticed a correlation between the number 9, which is like God, that is God's, like a high number that has to do with God. Have you ever noticed that?
Absolutely, and especially 999.
Yes.
But I resonate to different numbers in different ways, so it's a very spiritual experience for me. I'm mainly prompted to help other people just to get on board with doing the gematria, because it can seem really overwhelming for people, especially people who have been taught by teachers how to do things. And my approach is more give you some encouragement to explore, so you learn from experience.
Yeah.
So that's really
Yeah.
my approach. Yeah.
Probably what I should do after we look at this is I'll bring up that page on the Gematrix and show you how I went about collecting the ones that I felt were pertinent to us right now. So, and then God bless you. We don't, some people might not understand the Star of Sirius. I don't, but it's something to learn. So I put it in there because it's something to learn. And it's got a 918. All of these are 918, so it's pertinent to me. And then 8 is government, a pure government, and that's why President Trump is 888. The opening of the curtains. What is it? I mean, what it reminds me of is I had a friend who studied the clouds for signs of angelic activity. And then she would, at night, she would get the clouds. And then the next morning, she'd look at her photos. And she had just looked at white clouds that looked like they could be something. And the next morning, when she opened her phone, there was an angel from up above that had a gold garment. It was like medieval, great big puff sleeves. Like it was almost like, even right here, it had all these layers. Like it had I don't know, 9 layers of gold metallic material, and then a green band right here. And it was so fast. It was like faster than the speed of light or something. I took it and put it on the computer and slowed it way down. And it was so hard to see, but I kept stopping it so I could see more. And she laughed. It was like an elf, or not an elf, but like a munchkin or something. It was like, like that. And what she was doing was taking and pulling back the curtain of this lady's life so that she could be promoted and go into her highest destiny. And I think I haven't seen this decode before, but I love this. Opening the curtains. The new day, right? All right, then the Mickey Mouse clock that we want to smash. Violins could mean like the big ta-da at the end. Unlimited amusement. Acting as an agent for a higher order. Keys to the kingdom. Da Vinci codes. My great test. Do you feel like we just went through a great test? Now here's 2 that I feel like go with tonight. That's why I picked this one. Harmonization. We have to learn how to harmonize with each other in unity. And then the olive branch is a sign of peace. Do you want to weigh in on that, Jeannie?
Well, I certainly agree with those kinds of words. I see myself as one who is very focused on harmonizing and bringing peace and those kinds of dynamics. You can read that in my articles.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm all about. And there are times when utter nonsense is going on around me. I'm unfazed by it because I'm so connected with my inner guidance and have been all my life. So, yeah, I think those are key words.
Very nice. The angel of the Church of Philadelphia, you just have to look it up in the Bible and see what it's talking about, and then click on it and do a decode and see why is it there? What is that talking about? What message are they trying to say to us right now? Shelves. Now I keep seeing in my own personal gematria empty shelves quite a bit, but I don't take that as a fearful thing. I take that as that food on those shelves to me is non-food. It's not real. It's polluted. It's toxic. And I have a feeling they're going to clear the shelves and replace it with all that lovely organic gourmet food that the cabal saved for years and years and years underground. And we're going to get to eat the spoils.
Well, and I also resonate with the idea of shelves being cleared or falling apart or whatever as restructuring. I mean, we're getting rid of all this stuff that is fake, false,
Yeah.
poison,
Oh,
all
yeah.
that. So that makes total sense to me to just honor clearing the shelf. I mean, I'm so ready for these things that um,
Yeah.
other people aren't aware at all, but I am so ready.
Yeah, like even bookshelves, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then look at how beautiful these numbers are, Bible verse. So people that have just cast the Bible, said, forget it, it's messed up. It's God's voice. It's powerful. Look at that. They're both the same, 99 and 918, same thing. And then something, which I don't know what that means, but because it had repeated numbers, I chose it. And I always put down the number if there are repeated numbers. And then it's happening now. Oh, look at that. Matrix 911. It's happening now. The truth rises. Isn't that the opposite of what a lie does? The truth rises above all of that. And I believe we have the potential to be forever immortal. And I don't even believe in death. Death does not exist. People don't die. Their spirits don't die. They go into a higher life form of no hindrance in the spirit realm. What do you think, Jeannie?
Yeah, absolutely. And at 5 years old, I knew that there was no death. So it's uh,
So,
it's a knowingness that I've carried through me. And in fact, I've been aware of being in two different worlds since about age 4, and that this was a very strange world, but I was going to make it work. I was going to make it work, do
yeah.
the best I could, and to be comfortable in both. But my spirit guides are so active in my life, and I'm so grateful that I had those early experiences that have allowed me to manage in both worlds concurrently. But
Awesome. All right.
we're taking down the shelves.
So speak now lyrics. So whenever you see that, then I just go into Google and look for a song called Speak Now, and I put in I want the lyrics, and then I find out what the message is. And it has been so fascinating and goosebumpy when I find out what the message is in the song. It has brought me to tears many times. All right. Then they're going to restore free will. We're not going to have somebody tell us what to believe anymore. Our spirits know all truth, and we, God is our teacher. The Holy Spirit is our teacher. Then it says Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I've been seeing that a lot lately, so we're going to see more of that. These people, Vladimir Putin is like my hero, and for those people who thought he was an evil person, they're going to find out, man, he was a hero. Decode name 190. Well, there you go. There's 2 right there. Who else? Master of disguise. Who's that? I know several people.
Many,
Yes,
many.
many master of disguises. All right. And then it says you already know. And then synchronicities. And click on that, see what it's all about. Enjoy yourself. And then I love this last one, revival of learning, being taught by God, because there's 190 again. Very cool. All right, now let me just go into the Gematria just to show you how I got that. There it is. Okay, and I'll put the Trek Let's see. I did 98. And I didn't do 9-8 yet. I forgot. I did gematria for hours today. Okay. All right. Now I got to change my screen. So I'm not sure exactly how to do. Oh, okay. Thank you. All right. So now I'll do that again. Share the screen and select screen. Let's see. Okay, there we are. I think I have it. Yes, I do. Yes. Okay. All right. And I don't know, can I move the, ooh, ooh. I don't, oh, geez, can you still see it?
Yes.
Okay. But I don't think it'll let me move it. No, it won't. So anyway, that doesn't help me. So, okay, I look at the numbers. So right off the bat, let's see, Trek 98. Look at that, 888. So this is governmental. So are you able to do it, Christy? Oh, I do it over here. Okay. 116 is the English gematria. I love that because it's repeated numbers. And then 186. So you go in here, this guy, they're going to clean that guy out of this gematria. And so because I'm sick and tired of weeding through all that garbage. And there you go. Holy Son of God. Look at those numbers. When you got them over here and over here. Wow. Divine plan. Yep, there is a divine plan. Okay, I would leave that one. Leave that one. You never know on that one like that. You might check on that, see what that's all about, because there's a 9 over here. So that seems important to me. What do you think, Jeannie? Is my reasoning good?
Well, I can barely read it. It's so small. So
Oh, it is.
I don't know exactly what you're asking me.
Okay. Yeah. Well, when an option that you could click on and you're not sure about it, you don't understand it. But if you go over into the 3 choices and repeated numbers or an 8 or a 9, I'm going to click on it. I'm thinking it's important. All right. So God's hidden prophecy, the holy gematria of God. And then this one is even valuable, akin to Pandora's box. And so I just grab, and then I grab the repeated numbers and put it with it. That's how I do it. Famous blue raincoat. I don't know what that is, but if I click on it, it's going to give me a treasure hunt, So I'm going to let you take over now, Jeannie, because that's what I do. And then I revisit what my work and I begin to see a storyline. And after a while, when I see those numbers, I know what it's talking about already and what it's about. And they give it to me over and over and over. And so I don't have to do all that work anymore because I can just go back and revisit. But there is a story that will be told as you keep doing it and keep getting those spiritual messages to go on a adventure. Go ahead, Jeannie.
Okay. Well, I approach this a bit differently from you, which is just fine. And I think what I most want to encourage everybody is to get your hands on, get in there and play and explore, because there isn't just one way to do it. There are many different ways. I'm not familiar with your approach at all, and I've been doing this for 5 years, 5 years.
Yeah, I guess I taught myself, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
So I want to hear your way.
Well, I would say for me, it starts with an inner knowingness or intuition or whatever word you want to use, that someone says prompts me to go to Gematria. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, when I was learning, and I know that there are people in the chat who've never done this, who feel overwhelmed by it. I hear the words, I hear them through the energy field. I can't do this. I don't know how to do this. And you're going to be right if you believe that. So I like to encourage people to get started in a very simple way. And I think I've heard you talk about this as well. Start with your own name, your birth name, your married name, if you have one, or nicknames, all different names, not just one name,
Right.
but both names or all three if you have a middle name, and explore. Go and feel what the words are, not just the words. And there's a lot of junk in there. And sometimes the junk happens because the way Gematrix works is you can only put letters in the calculator. And if you want to know, for example, 300, what does it bring up? Then all you do is you go in and put in letters that get you up to 300. And of course, Y is 25. So you do 4 Ys and you have 100, and then you do it again and again. Okay. So that's one of the reasons there's so much junk in there, because people are trying to get a number that they want to get and see what that number says. Does that make sense, Tressie?
I have never heard of doing it that way, but that's wild.
Yeah. And so once the junk like that gets cleaned up, it will be a lot easier.
Right.
Because right now on when you use the calculator, you put in a word or words, a sentence, whatever you want to put in, only letters, no numbers, only letters, and press calculate, and there will be brought up multiple pages. There are 50 results per page.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
And I've seen 100 pages come up. I've seen more than that, I'm sure. And the first page, you will see the ones that are most searched for, because the number on the far right is the number of searches.
Right.
Now, that can be manipulated too, unfortunately, but I don't think that there'll be much more of that manipulation. But anyway, it makes it complicated. So that's why, for me, the intuition is so important. Okay. And so getting back to using your own name to just to learn the system, never mind the decode, never mind Trump, never, none of that, just you and this calculator, this tool that is amazing.
And
And
your birth date.
birth date, taglines, nicknames others called you, whether you like them or not, and whatever those words are. I mean, when I was doing this years ago for the first time, I put in a tagline, and you'll see the tagline at the bottom of all of my articles that I post. But the first one was, make this a magnificent day. That was it. Make this magnificent day. No, have a good day. It's make it a day. Make it perfect. Make it magnificent. Okay. And so that gave me a tremendous amount of information when I played with that, because I was only playing. I wasn't trying to prove anything to anyone. I wasn't going to show it to anybody. It was for me. And even more recently, I went through a similar exercise, but only with my name, no taglines. And I came up with the most astounding results that I've ever had. And I thought, oh my, oh my goodness. And there are 50 on the first page, 50 results on the first page. I resonated with 30 of the 50.
Wow.
And I decided to go to the second page and I resonated with 20 there. I mean, now I've never had that happen before.
Wow.
So the more you play, the more you learn. And that's, to me, the key here is to learn something, learn about yourself, learn how this tool works so that you immediately know that's garbage. That's junk. Just ignore it.
Yeah.
You don't have to get upset about it, or just ignore it and find those things that resonate with you so that you can learn, and then you explore the ones you want to explore. I don't do this as much anymore because I'm so busy with other things, but it is an amazing tool. And one of the reasons that I wrote up the resources for the tribe is to help you to discover, because it's a discovery process. That's how I learned my whole life, through discovery, because I knew that there was this crazy world out there trying to teach me stuff. And like, okay, I'll learn what the teacher wants me to say to do well on a test or whatever. But to learn from inside, what does this mean? How can I go deeper into this, whatever the word is or the phrase, and have fun with it? And if you play with it and you don't like it, stop. You don't have, there's no should in this. It's all about following your own heart. And if it makes sense to you to explore this, do it. If it doesn't, don't.
Oh,
And there are so many really good decoders. I mean, some amazing ones. They're not dealing with you as a person. They're dealing with, like, decoding what Phil has said or Trump or whoever. And that can be amazing too, but then they are choosing the words. They're choosing what resonates with them. So you might take that phrase, whatever they started with, and they should be telling you what they started with, and you go put those words in the gematria, and you pick out the ones that resonate for you, that feel right for you. We are not supposed to all be the same. This would be a very boring world if we all were the same. We need the differences. That's how we grow. I really believe that's one of the reasons we got stuck in this duality, this matrix of stuff. I will censor the rest of that thought. And to, in order to come to a place of really appreciating differences, very few people appreciate differences. And it is the core to coming together, to the unity. We can't have unity by agreeing on everything. Agreement is overrated. It truly is.
that's great.
Yes. And so that's really what I hope is the takeaway for everyone, from me, from anything I say, is if this engages you, you can learn so much. If it doesn't, you can learn it another way.
Yeah,
No,
that's
it's not the only tool.
yeah.
But I think it's quite amazing, and it's also, for me, particularly good because so many patriots are using it or misusing it, whatever. I mean, but they're using it. And when I first discovered gematria, it was really through the Q drops, because I was studying the Q drops, and then began to hear what the people I was working with were doing in this thing called gematria. I'd never heard of it before. And I thought, these go together. And then I thought, well, it takes me back also to my childhood and dinner. We always had dinner together. There were four of us, and we played word games, games, anagrams. We played and we learned. We learned far more than I ever learned in school on those things. So it's really about having the joy of learning. I've never gone a day without learning something,
Oh, yeah.
including things about myself. Every day I'm learning. And that's a joy to me to learn and to, if it works for you, if you're encouraged by that, wonderful. That would warm my heart greatly if you could say, yes, I want to play with it. And if I don't like it, well, I'll go play another game. It's okay.
You know what I wonder is when you get on the med bed, are you going to learn things? You know, like your DNA,
Yeah.
your genealogy without having to, I mean, I think they could just spit out your father's name if you didn't know who your father was.
Yes, and I'm not sure if this is what you're also saying or implying, but there's a lot of drudgery and much learning that goes on in this matrix. I believe when we ascend, when we get our DNA back,
Oh,
it's
right.
it's just going to be there.
Yeah.
And in fact, somebody asked me recently, "What do you most want when you ascend?" And I want my DNA back
Yeah.
because everything else will fall into place.
Right.
So that's what I feel anyway. And it'll become easier because the veil is uh, lifting. The dome has already been gone. It's all held together by a hologram. And so as it is lifting, we're learning inside of us, or at sleep time, or in various ways that even watching a movie. Do you ever watch a movie and you kind of think, well, what did I miss in the movie? Well, you're learning. You're going someplace else. And it will make it easier for those who are in the beginning of this. We're still in the beginning of this, and we have a lot of work to do with people who are still fast asleep. Some of them don't want to wake up, and that's okay. It really is okay, because if they have souls, they'll be taken care of. There are other options besides moving on in the ways we're talking about it with 5D and above. It's it's an exciting time to just really be ready for whatever happens. I'm so ready. And I also feel I know a lot. I believe I know a lot. And I probably know about 1% or one half of 1%
Right.
of what I will soon know.
Yeah.
And never mind even beyond that. So the more we can just be in our joy place, the more we can want to discover and to want to connect with others. Or I loved what you said earlier, when somebody hits you, you send them love. You didn't say those words, but it's that idea that that's just the instinct that you have to send love. And sometimes we have to go through stages. Like if you're really angry, just getting to neutral, that's a good place.
Yeah.
Then you can go to love.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it in one step.
Hesitating before going forward and waiting
Yes.
till you have processed enough to be able to do it correctly and with love. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. It is a process, and some of us have been in that process knowingly for years, maybe with different words. I use different words now than I did 20 years ago or 10 years ago. But it's all about opening to another level of our spirituality, letting it in,
Um,
and just loving life.
you know what I think is so beautiful, and it might take away some fear for some people, is Jeannie and I did the Gematria 2 different ways. I think mine might be faster, but the white hat said when I got to the place where I am now, they said you cracked the code.
Mm-hmm.
I did it, even though I did it the way I did it. And I feel like you can't do it wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally agree. And I'm sure there are many others who have other ways of doing this. And I applaud them all.
Yeah, just play, because
Play.
God has mercy on you, and he'll lead you, along the way, and you'll learn all by yourself without having to do it perfectly or a certain way. So,
Yes, we're out of the school system, okay, into a learning mode. We learn. Yes, we need mentors, especially when we're younger, but we don't need to be told what we're supposed to learn. We need to learn what we need to learn through discovery, through our own discovery. And I was blessed to have that in my own childhood. I truly was. And at the time, it seemed like, oh, I want to go to school. I want to go to school. I'm old enough to go to school. I was a little kid.
me too.
And and the thing that happened for me was I was not around teachers or other kids. It was a very small town. My parents didn't just put me outside in the snow to fend for myself. They watched over me, but they knew that I was as happy with people as I was without people. And so they just figured, well, she knows something.
Wow.
And I know that many people don't have that. They have strict ways of doing things, and we are powerful beyond words. Every single one of us,
Mhm.
everyone who hears this, whether you like the person or you don't like, everyone with a soul is powerful beyond words, and that's what the cabal was not prepared for,
Right.
because we're getting our power back.
Yeah.
And many people believed how unworthy they were because some teacher told them, or a doctor said, "Oh, you're going to die from that," or whatever. That's all controlled stuff. That's going. It's going,
Whee!
almost gone. From my perspective, it's gone, but it's not visible yet to enough people to know that it's gone, but it's gone. The resonance is so different now. It's so different from even a week ago. So
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And I was so excited when, a ton of our tribe said, yes, yes, I noticed Friday night, I noticed a shift. And I had to go back and tell those ladies who were interceding for you that even though they don't even know you, and tell them the result of their labor of love. And so thank you everyone who mentioned it. Yeah. And we have to let's keep pushing that. Um, I think it's a good week. It's going to be a good week because we're going to make it a good week, right?
yes, we are. We are indeed.
Yeah. So anything else before we say goodnight and move over to the Q&A on Telegram?
The only thing I might add is that I will post that resource document thing.
Right.
It's very brief. It's all about encouraging you to play with it. And even some of you who are very experienced might pick up one or two things in there, but it's really aimed at people who feel they can't learn this.
Okay.
That's the real aim at
Yeah.
it. And I wrote it 4 or 5 years ago,
Wow.
and I dusted it off for the trek. So
Very
so
nice.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. So
We are
I'll
we,
put it.
we are blessed and honored to have you in our tribe. And thank you for all the bliss beams that you radiate every morning.
You're very welcome. It is pure pleasure. I'm delighted that I love to write. I just
I
love
do
to.
too, and I'm looking forward to it in the future.
Yes.
All right.
Very
Okay.
good.
Meet you over in 10 minutes over on the Trek chat. All right. Love you guys. We'll see you in a minute. All right. Bye-bye.
Hi. You like my cup? You like it? Yeah. Okay.